everyone, and welcome to the Healing Lounge. Today we have a special guest. We have Aklema Johnson, also known as Coach Lema. Lema, how are you today?
I'm good, Sergio. I'm good. Thank you so much for having me. How are you?
I am doing well. Thank you, thank you. And yes, thank you for taking the time for being here and to share everything that you have to share with us here on the Healing Lounge. So thank you. Tell us a little bit more about yourself.
Okay, thank you. So, like you said, my name is Aklema Johnson. I'm also known as Coach Lema. I am the founder of Try Coaching, where Try is an acronym for the real you.
Mm.
I am a certified spiritual coach. I'm a certified life coach. And basically, what I do is I coach women. I coach women. I have some men that'll kind of pop in and out, but women tend to gravitate. And so in coaching them, it's just about empowering them and I create this transformative journey, which takes them inward, right? So that they can figure out who they are, why they are, where they are on their journeys. And so it's been exciting. I'm learning, I'm growing with them. And I've just learned that with empowering them, with empowering people, is that you don't tell them what to do as much as you guide them inward and they get their answers there, right? So that's it in a nutshell, what I do with Try Coaching. I'm also a traveling inspirational speaker. I speak at luncheons, I speak at churches, I speak at retreats. But one thing I forgot to mention about me that is even more important than that is I'm a devoted wife of 18 years and mother of a beautiful 10-year-old son named JJ. And so that is first and foremost for me in terms of how I live and prioritize. But back to the coaching. Yeah. um, so with regards to coaching, there's growth work, there's healing work, which those two things are different. So I find that more when I'm doing life coaching, I'm doing more growth work, right? Because growth work is basically about learning how to manage and move through where you are and what you have in a different way. And some people just need to navigate that. But the healing work is going back to uproot the causes of certain habitual unconscious behaviors and beliefs, right? So that part of coaching is not intellectual, it's spiritual, it's energetic, right? So that's the healing work where the healing work comes in. And so that could be anything from breath work to journaling, right? To teaching how to do mirror work. So it gets fun, all the mindfulness and all those things that are energetic and spiritual.
I love that. Yes. Lima, please tell me a little bit or tell us a little bit of how you got started being an empowerment coach.
Mm. So interesting enough, before I had my son was born in 2014. And prior to having him, I worked at the courthouse here in Las Vegas. And I was on my journey there. And I had, at that time, a spiritual mentor. And this was about maybe 15 years ago. She said to me, "You're a life coach." Now, 15, 16 years ago, life coaching was a thing, but it wasn't a thing. It was just like you had your life coaching, but it was a rarity. It wasn't. And so I thought, okay, I didn't think much of it. And so as life would have it, I get pregnant, I have my son, and my son was born with health issues. And so I had to make a decision whether I was going to stay at work or I would stay home with my son. So, of course, I stayed home. So I've been a stay-at-home mom for 10 and a half years. But it was through that journey with my son, surgeries, hospitalizations, a lot of trauma, a lot of hurt, a lot of pain, a lot of feeling helpless as a mother. It was a lot. The journey has been a lot. Pushed me into a place within myself that I had never been, right? It was just all of it just pushed me inward. And I had to grab for strength, and I had to grab for wisdom. I had to grab for understanding that I didn't have. And so when I look back, they say hindsight is 2020. I would have, if my son hadn't had these issues, I would have still been working because I got a promotion on maternity leave, right? I had a plan, right? I'm going back to work. I got promoted. But hindsight, I look back, I don't believe that God would have gotten out of me what needed to come out of me in my comfort. That was my comfort. That was easy for me. Work was easy, and I'm gonna be honest, after about 6 weeks, 2 months or whatever, my son would have been in daycare and I would have went back to work, and that would have been life, but that didn't happen. That didn't happen. And so that's how I, in essence, got here. Because one day, as I sat on my bed crying from sleep deprivation, I felt something within me. I knew that being a mother is the weightiest part of my purpose, but there was still something else that needed expression. And so I sat on my bed at 3 o'clock in the morning and I just said, God, who am I? I don't feel like I'm completely living authentic. And then I started to get answers, and I started to get downloads, those downloads we talked about, right? I even got the name of my business, Try Coaching. So I grab my phone and I'm texting all these downloads because I don't have anything. It's like the middle of the night, and I'm just texting what I'm hearing in my spirit and what's in my heart. And this is how Try Coaching came to fruition. And once I stepped into that, I began to meet the people that I needed along for my journey. So how I got here through trauma and heartache and heartbreak, and understood that there's a correlation between that and my purpose.
That's beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that. What would you say would be the main reason clients come see you? Or what is the most common reason why people seek your counsel, your advice, your empowerment, your coaching program?
I believe the main reason is this. I'm a firm believer in when you surrender to why you were created, the hearts are already assigned. They're already assigned. Once you step into your path, once you step into alignment, the hearts of people are already assigned to you. So those are the people that you're going to draw. Those are the people that you're going to attract. Those are the people that you're going to speak to. Another thing that I believe is I'm not exempt from having a therapist, from having a coach, from having spiritual mentors along the way. So I do my work in a real way. I let go. I've healed some things. I've gone back and dealt with childhood trauma and learning how to deal with triggers and all of that. That stuff is very important to me in my personal life because first and foremost, I have to be able to not just show up for me, but show up for my husband, and I have to be able to show up for my son. I had to be able to show up for my mother when my mother got sick with cancer. So my healing is extremely important. And so I believe that's what makes what I do more impactful, because what I do comes from a real place. I'm not advising, inspiring, encourage anyone to do anything that I haven't done. And so that's why I believe what I do is so impactful and that it draws who it draws, because those people are already assigned to me. But I take my own mental health, emotional health, and spiritual health very important. And so those components within my client, I don't take that lightly. These are people's lives. These are people's spirits and emotions and minds that I'm being entrusted with. And so that's how I believe and why I believe people come and people are drawn and people are impacted.
Yes, thank you so much for sharing that, Lima. You mentioned mirror work, and that really stood out to me. There was another place where I heard mirror work, and that was from Louise Hayes.
Mhm.
And yes, can you talk a little bit about the mirror work that you do?
Yes. So with mirror work, I had to be able to do it myself to be able to. So that's been a part of my healing journey, doing mirror work. Because think about it, oftentimes, especially for women, when we're in the mirror, is we're primping, we're putting on makeup, lipstick, we're in it for aesthetic reasons, right? But the challenge comes in when you have to be able to just stand in the mirror, no makeup, no pretense, hair not done, whatever, and look yourself directly in the eyes where you speak into your own soul. And when you say to yourself, I love you, do you mean it? Does it resonate? Right? So mirror work when you first started is uncomfortable because it's not even something that people are used to doing because we're in the mirror doing other things. And so when you have to be able to stand and look at yourself and affirm yourself and let go of some things and look yourself in the eye and be honest with yourself, initially it's very uncomfortable. And it really speaks to that lack of healing. It speaks to some things that are still within us that we have to face. And so with mirror work, I've done that for a long time where I had to stay in the mirror day after day. And I had to talk to myself until I believed it. And when I think I started doing mirror work, it's probably been about 7 or 8 years ago. But I remember doing it for the first time. I was like, this is silly. I don't know. This is weird. But then the fact that I was so uncomfortable with it spoke volumes to me. Why is it so easy for you to look your husband in the face and tell him how much you love him, or my mother, or my father, or my son? But when you look in the mirror at yourself, it's like there's some resistance there. What is that? And so I had to press through that. I didn't like the way it felt. I didn't like how it felt. So I knew innately there was just a wisdom in me that said, okay, there's more work. There's more work that has to be done within until you can stand in this mirror and affirm yourself, validate yourself, tell yourself that I love you and believe it. So, yeah, mirror work is just you and you being able to look at yourself and speak to yourself and become one with yourself and be comfortable there.
That is beautifully said and very impactful, very powerful. Thank you. What would you say would be one myth about your field that you'd like to debunk?
So, it, in the reality of coaching is this: it's not a regulated field, if you will, right? It's not regulated yet. And so you have people that come into you have people coaching that I want to be a coach because anybody can be a coach, right? You can wake up and say, I want to be an emotional coach. I want to be any kind of coach you can be. And because it's not regulated, you can just get up, you can create a business, you can create a website, and you can draw clients in, right? So that's the truth about coaching. It's not regulated. But that doesn't mean that people that are coaches aren't sincere about what it is that they're doing, that the field of coaching is not as impactful. So my journey has been, I was in school prior to getting pregnant, getting my bachelor's degree in human services, because I'm still like, what am I doing? What am I supposed to be doing? And then I went on to get my master's in psychology. Not that it's required for coaching. It's not. It's just that was just the direction in which life led me. And then I went on and got my certifications in coaching. And the place where I became certified is credentialed through the International Coaching Federation. So anybody that's looking for like a life coach or a spiritual coach in that regard, you always want to ask them, okay, well, where did you get your certification? Give me some background information, because some people they do it for the money. You see the programs out there. I can teach you how to make $10,000 a month as a coach. And then you see everybody jump in, and then you see people they're good at it and they draw people, but they hurt people. They wound people, right? They don't understand that in this field, when you're dealing with people, the objective is to do no harm. Do no harm to people. So you do find people in that regard that they do it for the wrong reasons. But one of the myths that I have heard is that it's a joke, that it's not effective, it's not impactful. And that is the biggest myth. I have helped hundreds of women transform their lives just by guiding them inward. Because I just believe, but I more than believe, I know that everything we need is on the inside of us. But we're distracted. We get separated from self in life, right? There's a separation that happens with us. Think about this. We are born, we come into this world in the natural with a clean, natural slate, right? I'm not talking about spiritual lineage or anything like that. Just without natural physical experiences. As we grow and as we move through life, we experience the joys and the pains of life. But it's the pains of life, the trauma, the neglect, the abuse of whatever kind, the rejection, the bullying, the heartbreak, all those things slowly separate us from ourselves, from our self-worth, right? Hence why they're the low self-esteem, right? People are just unfulfilled in life, the confusion, all those things. And so because we get separated, we have to provide a dynamic to bring people back. Because this is where we need to be. We need to be in alignment here. So that, getting back to your original question, the myth is that it's a joke, and it's not. It really isn't. Life coaching, spiritual coaching is so impactful. And I'm just a believer of, even in the coaching world, it's just a new thing. It's just where we are. And so I'm excited about where we're going. Even in coaching, it will become regulated. It will be, have a governing body, but until then, I still take what I do very seriously. I still believe in being certified. I still do have coaching mentors and take classes so that I can stay up on the newest tools and the newest techniques. And so it's a beautiful, impactful field. I love the field of coaching.
I love that. Thank you so much for that powerful insight. And that really brought something up. What should people look out for? What are some red flags when they're seeking coaching that they should stay away from?
I think some red flags are, so what I do is I do a clarity call. Initially, it's free. You just come, and it's basically for me to get clarity about you, for you to get some clarity on me and what this relationship looks like. But also, as we're talking, you will also, in the clarity call, get clarity on yourself. So if you have a coach that's telling you that they're going to do all these things for you and they're promising you this pie in the sky, without letting you know that these are your sessions, you're going to do the work, right? I'm going to empower you to do the work. I'm not going to tell you what to do. I'm not going to tell you how to do it, because that's not true empowerment. And when you have a coach that is selling you on that, I'm going to do all these things for you, that's a flag. Because as a coach, my job is just to guide you. and support you. You're going to do all the work, right? I make it so that you do the work, so that the ball's in your court all the time, because these sessions are yours. Another red flag is when your coach tries to have a dual relationship with you, whereas we have this coaching relationship, but we're also friends, right? There's this dual relationship that we have to stay away from. You have to be able to draw a line in the sand. And I have gotten a lot of that have experienced coach hurt, where their coach got too intertwined in their personal business, in the sense where it became, well, this is what you should do, or this is what I think you should do, or this is how you should have handled that. And so their experience was more hurtful than helpful. Because as a coach, that's not what we're here to do. So those are flags, there's this sense, just like as in therapy, in coaching, there's a rapport that you build. You build rapport. And in my experience, I think energetically for my clients, it's almost happened right away, where they always end up going from clarity call to, okay, I want to coach with you, because they feel empowered, even in all their stuff. They feel like, oh, okay, I have what it takes to do this. So if you don't feel empowered, you feel like this person is making you feel inferior, or they know more than you about you, because nobody know more than you about you than you, right? Those are flags. Those are flags. If you're not feeling it, if your gut is like, we're not connecting, then always, I tell people, you always, always, always listen to your gut. Always trust it. So those are the flags that will come almost right away.
Yes, thank you for that. And I did want to also look into more of what you have planned in the future for events, and also look into what you have in store for Try Coaching. Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
What do you see? Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Well, first I have a journal that I created. It's called The Power of Gratitude. And this is a 21-day gratitude journal, right? And every day there is a reflection. And you just go through every day and you read your day 1, your day 2, and then you just write what comes to you. There's a mood checker. How do you feel today? And then there's a quote. So for example, this quote says, have faith in your journey. Everything had to happen exactly as it did to get you to where you're going next. And that's a quote from Mandy Hale. And so based on the reading of that and your reflection in that quote, you just write. You just write, and you know what comes up. So I'm super proud of this, The Power of Gratitude. Also, I am doing a masterclass called Spring Clean Your Life. It's going to be 2 Saturdays, April 12th and April 19th, and May 10th and May 17th. And these are going to be hour-long sessions. And this workshop, I'm calling it not a workshop, I'm calling it a masterclass, because you're going to do the work, right? You're going to create that level of mastery in your life. And so it's designed to set people up for success, right? And helping them to clear out things in their lives that's holding them down, that's draining them, right? Because we can't be successful when we're bogged down with things. So when you think about spring cleaning, right? You think about, well, we don't have to do this here in Vegas, but I'm from New Jersey. So growing up, we always had to pack away the winter clothes, put out the spring clothes and the summer clothes, right? We had to do that, right? We had to pack this, pull this out. But also with spring cleaning, most people really go through their house and do a deep clean. But how often do we do that with our emotions? How often do we do that in our lives? How often do we really take a look and say, this is not for this season. And how do I let that go? So that's what Spring Clean Your Life Masterclass is going to be about. We're going to be doing some spring cleaning so that we can be set up for success. And I am so excited about that. So I'm getting ready to start promoting. Hey, this is the first time I'm actually talking about it and promoting it right here. Okay. In
Yes,
the Healing Lounge, right?
you heard it first.
First here on the Healing Lounge, right? That's what it's about. And so finally, I am embarking on hosting my first retreat. And the theme is the heart of the matter. It's going to be held next spring, 2026. I'm working out all the details, but the premise is this. We have two hearts. We have our physical heart, and then we have the heart that is the soul, right? And so this retreat is going to cater to both. I'm going to cater to the heart that is the soul. We're going to do workshops. We're going to do breath work. I have somebody coming in. We're going to do IV hydration. We're going to do massages. We're going to do all the things, right? And then there's going to be a chef there that's going to cook heart healthy meals, right? And healthy. We're going to do cold pressed juicing. So we're going to just do, it's going to be phenomenal. I'm excited about it. The heart of the matter. Again, you're hearing it first here in the Healing Lounge right here. I'm going to be promoting that too. Like I said, that's going to be spring of next year, but I'm actually working on that now and I'm getting a lot of downloads and ideas about that. So I'm super excited about that. Lastly, I do one-on-ones. I do breath work, all of that. My website is www.trycoachinglv.com. You can go on my website and learn more about me, learn more about what I do. And my email is trycoachinglv@gmail.com. So anybody wants a one-on-one session, anybody wants to do a free clarity call, you just send me an email or book it through the website, and here I am.
That's wonderful. Looking forward to hearing more about your retreat. Wow, that's exciting. All of these things that you mentioned are exciting. And yes, congratulations on this journey that you're on. That's amazing.
Thank you.
Uh, I wanted to touch base a little bit about the business aspect of the work of being a coach or being in the holistic industry. Um, what are some challenges you faced in your business and how did you overcome them?
That's a great question. The thing about how my coaching is set up, it really is just me, right? However, I do have people that have come along the journey that I have collaborated with. And I think the only challenge that I've experienced is just a difference in, say, personality, just a difference in the way of doing things. And also, my challenge is a person that lacks a level of integrity that says, we're going to show up, we're going to do this at this time, and that doesn't happen. Those are kind of the challenges that I would say. I haven't had any challenges like on a large scale. When people hire me or book me to fly somewhere or to travel state to state, I have been treated very well. I have been treated very well. There was no stone unturned. Everything was laid out for me. And so I don't have any issues in that regard. One of the things I will say, because I'm a coach all day, but then when you start getting technical with numbers and taxes and that side of the business, that's where my husband comes in because that's how his brain works. And so I will oftentimes go to him and like, babe, how does this work? Or what do I do here? But challenges, I would say my biggest challenge has just been me. If I have to talk about any real challenge in fear and doing it afraid, that has probably been my biggest, greatest challenge. And all the other little ones that I spoke about with people and, conflict. And that's a part of life. And I think the way that overcome that is with honesty and communication. And, however that pans out, it pans out. If we're aligned, then this thing will move forward. And if we're not, it won't. and being okay with that. Not everybody is in alignment with what I'm doing, with what you're doing, right? And that's okay. But the people that are in alignment are in alignment. So whatever conflict arises, is conflict is a part of life. You communicate, you be transparent, you be honest, and you work through it. Because that's what grown folks do, right? So
Absolutely. Yes. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing that. You know, in doing the work that you do, you know, mother, wife, businesswoman, coach, inspirational, motivational speaker, how do you keep yourself healthy and balanced while running all of these different roles in your life?
yeah, I do have a lot of roles. And my son is homeschooled, by the way. So I
Mhm.
don't get that 6, 7 hour break that most parents get, right? But how I juggle and manage it all is it really is like you're saying, it's how I take care of me, right? And it's nothing real super, super deep. I have my quiet time with God. I'm gonna always have my time where I am fueled spiritually, right? That's my biggest fuel spiritually. How I eat, how I treat my temple, right? I get to decide, am I going to grab for this smoothie or am I going to go out and grab for a bag of chips, right? So I choose smoothies. I choose eating healthy. I juice, I love finding healthy recipes and cooking things. I exercise. I spend time outside. Vegas is sunny most of the time. So I spend time outside. In the community where I live across the street, there's a beautiful waterfall. I sit over there and I watch the ducks. Like that's me living my best life. I read books. I'm a nerd. Like I don't like all the fuss and I don't do drama. I don't do toxicity. I don't do none of that. I maintain my peace. When you walk up in my home, you understand, the heart of the woman in this house based on how my house feels. And so I make sure that I nurture myself in that way. I nurture my spirit. I nurture my soul. I take care of my body because I'm a believer in what you do for your body, you do for your mind. I have to show up. I have to be able to show up for my son, whether he's sick, whether he has surgery, whether he's in class, homeschool. He has a teacher, but I'm his learning coach. But I'm also his mother. So I have to zero in on where he's falling short and where he needs help. I can't do that tired and fatigued because I ate something that didn't agree with me, or because I ate bad or I ate unhealthy and now I'm tired and now I'm sluggish and now I'm no good to him because I'm cranky. So that's how I take care of myself. I do infrared sauna. I love infrared. Do you do infrared?
I do when I get the opportunity to, I do. I also have a handheld, it's like a wand. It looks like a blow dryer, but it actually shoots out it's a terahertz wand, so it does terahertz frequency and infrared treatment too. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, a friend of mine has that. I had never seen that before, but a friend of mine has that. But so I do all the things that is going to keep my nervous system calm, to keep me in alignment, to keep me in a space where I can access joy, I can access peace, I can access faith, I can access goodness. And when I say access, I'm talking about because it's inside of me. So I have access to it. And those are the things that help me access it.
Wonderful. Yes, all of the above. Why should someone come see you? Why should someone go to try coaching, LV?
Why? So here's what's so interesting. I'm always telling people, whatever you do, you have to have a why. You have to have a why. And the motto at Try Coaching is that it is coaching that unveils the real you, right? So there's an unveiling that happens. And we talked about this, how you get walked back to yourself, right? And so your why, everybody's why is going to be different, right? But why, if I had to say why you should come to me, is because when I say I love myself, I mean it in every sense of the word. It's not about ego and it's not a cockiness. It's a true self-love. And how I love myself is how I show myself love, right? And so that's my self-love. There's a transference. It's just energetic where people just know when they come, when they talk to me, that I'm authentic, I'm honest, I'm transparent, and I can love you and not even know you because that's how much I love me. That's how much I love the God in me. So I believe that, do no harm to people. Do no harm. And I live by that. And so, again, like I said, your why for coming to me is going to be different than somebody else's why. But if I had to tell you why you should come to me, that's why. Because I genuinely love you. I genuinely love people. I genuinely want to see your life transform. Why? Because we're all connected. I have to live in this world with you. Why wouldn't I want to see you healed? My son has to live in this world with possibly your children or whomever. Why wouldn't I want to see you healed?
Mhm.
So yeah, that's why.
I love it. Thank you for sharing. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, so I like to also ask some fun hypothetical questions.
Okay.
If money were not an issue, what would you do?
If money were not an issue, what would I do? So can I just be really transparent? And this is not a flex. Money is not an issue, right? Money is not an issue in my life. And I would do just what I'm doing. And here's why I say that. About 10 years ago, I was invited to join a friend of mine or an associate of mine to, it was a women's transition home called West Care out here. It's a women and children's transition home. And I was invited to be a part of teaching life skills. And it was voluntary. I was a volunteer. I didn't get paid. He got paid, but I didn't get paid. And I absolutely loved it. I loved working with these women. I really did. That is when I realized that this was really a passion for me. And I didn't realize it until I had that experience and how these women were drawn to me in a way then I didn't understand. Like, why are they so drawn to me? But it would be just what I'm doing. It would be just what I'm doing because I love it. Like I really do. I love it because I believe that I'm blessed because I am a blessing. I am a blessing. And it's not me, it's the God in me. Let's be clear about that, right? When I say I'm talking about the God in me. And so, yeah, I get to do what I love. But no, I would do it for free. I don't, though. This is a business now. But I'm not trying to get rich. I don't have any get rich quick schemes. I'm not trying to overcharge. I don't do all those things, but I am a believer that when people pay for something for themselves, that they take it more serious versus if it's just a freebie. Yeah, I would be doing just what I'm doing.
Beautiful answer. Another question for you. Your younger self is watching this interview right now. What would you like to say to your younger you?
Whew. So here's how I feel about the younger you and the little girl or the little boy. I believe that outside of our relationship with God, the Most High, or whoever, people believe God to be, for me, is outside of my relationship with God, the most important relationship that I will ever have in my life is with the little girl in me, right? Because what I've learned through my own healing journey and helping women heal is this: when we're triggered, That's the little girl. That's the little person in us. The little boy, the little girl is triggered, right? And understanding that not only am I triggered, but why is she so triggered, right? So I've learned I talk to her every day. When I'm feeling insecure or when I'm feeling fearful, I understand where that's coming from. And so I have to talk to little Lema, if you will, and let her know that I will never leave you. I will never abandon you. You're safe. You don't have to be fearful. You don't have to be insecure, right? I talk to her and I encourage that in my clients. You have to get to know the little person in you. That relationship has to be solid. And so the little girl in me, she's watching me, right? I tap into her because I like to have fun. I do kind of have like this Peter Pan spirit. Like I love to have fun. That child in me likes to have fun. I play with my son. My son keeps her alive and keeps her going. And so I'm very interactive with little Lema because I know that relationship is so important. So she hears me all the time and she knows that she's a priority because I tend to her. I know when she's uncomfortable. I know when she's mad. I know when she's afraid. So now it's my job to comfort her. Nobody else can do that but me. So that's for me, but that's for anybody watching. That relationship with your younger self, with the little girl or the little boy in you is so important. It's so important. And so, yeah, grab that little hand. Grab that little hand within and walk through life with that little person because they're in there. I know that. It's not even something that I'm like, I believe. I know that to be true.
That is a wonderful, wonderful response. Thank you so much for that. Before wrapping up, Lima, are there any final thoughts or messages you'd like to share with us?
Yes, there is a final thought, and it's going to be a short one, but it's this. With all that's happening in the world, with all that's happening, whether it's spiritual, whether it's happening in the physical, because it's always happening in the spirit, is that I want to encourage people to just kind of sit back and relax and not feel like you have to be in control of everything, right? And here's what I mean. We live in a world where now, when you look, people are at odds because you voted different, you believe different, you do different, right? They're uncomfortable with people's differences and they want to control someone else's being or someone else's decision making or how somebody else feels, right? And what that is, that's a spirit of fear. That's a spirit of fear. And so I want people to not get so distracted by what's going on in the world. Just be still, get grounded in yourself, get aligned with yourself, and also surround yourself with people that are doing the same. Don't surround yourself with the peanut gallery that's going to feed your fear, that's going to feed the chaos, that's going to feed the overwhelm. You have to pull out of, I call it the matrix, and just get grounded and listen to what's going on within yourself and not get so worried about what other people are doing, what other people are saying, because we absolutely cannot control that. Only thing that we are in control of is how we respond to life and situations and circumstances. That's it. Everything else is by faith and understanding it is not in your control. So for all the control freaks, I'm a reformed, recovered control freak. Be easy, relax. Just Get grounded, stay grounded, and let everything else do what it's going to do.
True words of wisdom. That's a beautiful call to action. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes. Lima, again, where can people find you if they want to do a call with you, if they want your services? How can they find you?
So again, you can find me. My website is www.trycoachinglv.com. My email is trycoachinglv@gmail.com. I do some vlogs on social media. I'm on Facebook under just my name, Aklema Johnson, Aklema Johnson. And IG, I am Aklema, Aklema underscore 1972. So I will get them all in alignment, all under one name, but I'm stepping out, I'm doing vlogging and I'm doing all that. So you can go on there and see some vlogs that I've done. And I post juicing and making smoothies and all the good stuff, but that's where you can find me. So let's connect. Send me an email. Go to the website and put your email in if you want to join the email list, because I also send out emails on Mondays called Mindful Mondays to help people kind of get through the week. Check in.
Yes, everyone, check out everything that she has to offer. Amazing work, and I'm gonna leave all of those links below so everyone can tap into them for sure. Um, Aklima, thank you so much for this conversation. Thank you for this enlightening conversation. Thank you.
Thank
I
you so much,
appreciate you being
Sergio.
here. Yes, I appreciate you being here, taking the time out of your busy schedule to be here on the Healing Lounge and having this interaction. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Thank you so much.